Hello friends, welcome to BSc Agriculture. If you are coming to my channel for the first time, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Your subscription and likes are always motivating us to put regular lecture videos. So let's move to the video. In this video, I am going to teach you about fundamentals of biochemistry. I am going to teach Unit 4 and the lecture topic is electron transport chain and oxidative phosphorylation. So let's move to the session. So in this video, I am going to give a short intro about electron transport chain, which is nothing but an energy transduction in the biological system of each and every living cells. So they used to have two types of phosphorylation. The first one is oxidative phosphorylation and the second one is photophosphorylation. So the oxidative phosphorylation is nothing but this ATP synthesis driven by the electron transfer to oxygen, which is done by the oxygen, while in the photophosphorylation where the same ATP synthesis is driven by the presence of light. So I am going to first teach you about oxidative phosphorylation, so in which is nothing but the ATP, the transfer of electron from reducing equivalents of NADH to FADH2 to oxygen by the series of electron transfer chains in the membranes of inner membranes of mitochondria is said to be done. So the final reaction sequence, which is said to be known as of respiration of the living cells. So in plants, ATP is mainly derived through the photosynthesis utilizing energy derived from the main source of sun, as well as in non-photosynthetic tissue, ATPs are derived mainly through the respiration of the living cells. So it's the structure of the mitochondria. So the inner space is the distance between the inner mitochondrial membrane as well as the outer mitochondrial membrane, and the inner region is also said to be known as the matrix, where the sequence as well as the reactions are said to be done in mitochondria. So the electron transport chain, so which I have already told you that, which is nothing but that electrons are transferred along a set of cytochromes, which is known as set of cycles, where the more electronegative components NADH and FADH2 to more electrophilic oxygens is said to be done. And since the electrons are transferred by a series of electron carriers, so they are said to be referred to be known as electron transport chains. The respiratory chain complex are used to have four complexes. The first one is NADH unique bond reductase, which is NADH dehydrogenase, as well as second complex is succinate unique bond reductase. So succinate dehydrogenase is the short form, and the third complex is unique bond cytochrome C reductase, which is cytochrome BC complex, the complex 3, and the fourth complex is cytochrome C oxidase. So these are the four complexes which are responsible for the electron transport chain in the respiratory chain complex of ETC. So it's how the electron transport chain process takes place. So the first compound is NADH, where the NADH, the first complex used to act on NADH, and the succinate dehydrogenase used to act on the resulting product, and the cytochrome C reductase used to act and form a cytochrome C, and the cytochrome C oxidase, the fourth complex, used to act and release oxygen in the molecule. So it's how the total process is in ETC chain. So at these chains there is a sites for ATP formation. So they are said to be three sites. So they are known as the three sites of electron transform is NADH to unique bond via flavoproteins, which is said to be smallly known as F, M, N, and the another site is between cytochrome B to cytochrome C, and the third site is between cytochrome A to cytochrome A3. So these are the three sites of ATP formation in electron transport chain. So the ATP is said to be formed. So what are the energy of molecules produced from them are while the oxidation of one molecule of NADH results to the formation of 2.5 molecules of ATP, as well as the one molecule of oxidation of FADH2 generates 1.5 molecules of ATP. It's how the after that it's how the complex 1 the transfer of electrons used to be occur. So the F, you must need to remember that FES, iron sulfur complex, which is important in each and every complex sequence. So let's move to the electron carriers. So I have already told you that the iron sulfur protein, since they contain iron sulfur centers, which is a critical compound for electron carriers, it's how they carry. They use it to form two existing forms, which is iron 2+ and iron 3+. it's how the electron formings are occur. So they use it to reduce the iron 3 plus electron for the exception of one electron and become reduce it to iron 2 plus form in the electron transport chain, and Fe2 donates electron to the next carrier in the sequence of reaction. So it's how the reaction occurs. I have already told you that the 2Fe3 use it to react with 2H2 to form a 2F plus Fe2 plus component in the reaction. So it's how the electron used to transfer from one among the other. It's also seen in complex 3 as well as complex 4. After each and every reaction, the iron complex used to get reduced with the presence of electrons, and you must also even need to remember the hemi in cytochrome C1 and C2, where the cytochromal structure where the protein used to activate. So it's how I have already told you that the iron used to be get reduced by the presence of electron in this complex and used to get reduced by others, and how the half molecules of O2 and 2 molecules of hydrogen ion used to be give H2O water compound in their final reaction, and it's how the proton is to be transferred from one to another in the inner and outer membrane of the matrix. So after that we are going to see the mechanism of ATP formation. So there are two principal hypotheses which was proposed by for the mechanism of oxidative phosphorylation. They are chemical hypothesis and chemoosmotic theory. So the first one is chemical hypothesis. So it was said to be known that in 1920 it was proposed by several scientists, and several attempts had been made to identify energy metabolic of the oxidation and phosphorylation. So but there are no such intermediates were isolated by them, and in 1960, so you must need to remember the year, in 1960, so Peter Mitchell, who is one of the scientists, suggested the possibility of an intermediate compound is now present in the mitochondria, and he used it to compose the chemical hypothesis was discredited due to his inventions. So after that the chemoosmotic theory was proposed. So he used to state that the coupling of oxidation to phosphorylation is indirect one, so there is no transfer, and the hydrogen proton generated by oxidation in the respiratory chain are ejected outside the matrix to the inner membrane is the following one. And he used to, and this theory used to state that the electrochemical potential difference resulting the asymmetrical distribution of hydrogen ion from the outer matrix to inner matrix is used to drive a membrane located ATP synthesis, which is used in the presence of PI plus ADP to form ATP. So I have already told you that ADP plus PA used to form ATP plus H2O. It's where the half molecules of water and 2 proton, which is H plus, used to combine and form the final product of ATP plus H2O in this product. It's how the reaction used to takes as well as assumptions made by the chemoosmotic theory. So while seeing an animated form of chemoosmotic theory, it's how the reaction where the half molecules with the presence of hydrogen ion used to produce water as well as ATP is derived from ADP plus PA in the mitochondrial matrix. So you must need to remember this whole process was done in the presence of mitochondrial matrix, which was stated by chemoosmotic hypothesis. So you must also need to, according to this model, the protomotive force drives the synthesis of ATP as the flow of passively back to the matrix through pore of F0 and associated with the ATP synthesis in this process. So it's how the reaction occurs, and it's how the chemical potential of pH is always inside is alkaline and in outside is negative. So the ATP synthesis driven by a proton motive force to form ATP in this mitochondria. It's how the reaction occurs. So it's the overall structure of ATP synthesis, at which the FO is the pore where the ADP and the PA used to interfere, and the F1 is the place where ATP is produced and formed in the mitochondrial region. So it was ADP synthesis structure. I have already told you that F0 is where the H plus as well as ADP and PA ions used to enter, and F1 at where the ADP is used to be plus PA is converted to ATP with the release of proton into the mitochondrial membrane. So even though there are some of the inhibitors of respiratory chain are there, so the inhibitors of they are classified as inhibitors of electron transfer, inhibitors of ATP synthesis, as well as the uncouplers of oxidative phosphorylation. So the inhibitors of electron transport chains are retinone as well as amytal, which is used to block the transfer of NADH to Q to reductase, prevents the utilization of NADH in the electron transfer chain, and amytazine interferes in the electron flow by cytochrome BH in this process, as well as the electron flow in cytochrome oxide is blocked by CN cyanide and azide and carbon monoxide. So they use it to react with the ferric form of A3 and CO inhibit the ferrous form of A3 in the process. So the inhibitors of ATP synthesis are oligomycin, which inhibits ATP synthesis, as well as the uncouplers. So dicamural and 2,4-dinitrophenol, which leads to the oxidation and produced without phosphorylation. It's how they occur. So they release energy in the form of heat rather than in the form of ATP by uncouplers. So then we must need to conclude that by the net reaction is how the process takes place. You can able to see that the NADH plus half O2, which gives H2O and NADH plus with the release of energy of 52.6 kcal per mole. It's how the total net reaction process takes place, with the 4 forms of cytochromes used to act on NADH to release oxygen in the compound. So it's the total picture about the summary of the total process. It's how the reaction takes place. So where the first one is in the matrix, which is where the glycolysis process takes place and used to form acetate CoA and citric acid cycle used to occur with the release of NADH in this compound. They used to go to the intervention of electron transport chains and use it to act with complex 1 at here and complex 2, and the third complex used to act, and the fourth complex is used to occur, and the ATP is used to derive as the final product in this complex, and the release of H plus ions, which is used for other product process are said to be done. So I have given the lecture notes in the description. If you want, you can able to catch it. So if you have any doubts, please comment in the section. If you like the video, like it and share it with your friends, and subscribe to BSc Agriculture and hit the bell icon to get regular updates. So thanks for watching the video. Thank you. I will catch you up in next videos.